blues tonight, guys.
Nice. Double
Tim,
blues.
I bought this. I bought these from you, did I not?
The blue ones? No. Nope.
Yeah, I did. I think I did. I bought you. You had an extra set of red and blue Joy Cons,
Did I?
and you sold them to me early on, right when Arms came out.
I don't remember.
I think I remember this.
So,
I just remember weird things like that. Like
I don't remember.
you give me a pen in the third grade. I remember. I'm like, hey, you give me a pen. Or I don't remember. Like I remember Joe Davidson in second grade. He gave me a Transformer for Christmas.
Okay.
Or a GoBot.
And it's funny how some people just remember certain things. Like
he gave me a GoBot for Christmas, and then the following year I stole one of his notebooks because he had 3 and everybody else had 1, and I didn't want somebody to have more than me. I didn't think it's fair. It was second grade socialism.
So you're just like, he needs to give up one of those.
I came to him. I was like, I'm coming to you now because I'm in need of notebooks. Let's start the show. I'm sorry.
Let us know when we're ready, Jesse.
I'm ready. Been on.
We're hot.
We're hot.
We're hot.
We have been for.
We're hot dads.
Been hot for 40 years.
Where's the time? Well, this says we're offline, but yet I can see us right there. So I don't know. It's that the webpage.
Which one, YouTube or Twitch?
Twitch.
We are live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're live on Twitch. It's just it says offline, where it normally says how long.
Well, make it quit that.
Let me refresh it. Okay, now it says 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 311, recorded on January 21st, 2021. On tonight's episode, we discuss, we make up some fake news for Slow News Week. We talk about Justin behind his back, and then we talk about the potential release of Apex Legends in the near future, and then questions from the peeps in the community. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is episode 311 of Nintendo Dads, January 21st, 2021. And over the years, we've changed a lot and then some, but you know that we've always been down. Some of y'all get that. And if you do, I salute you. You were alive in the 90s. Joining me on tonight's show is the usual cast of characters. Mine is Justin, which is unfortunate because there's Apex Legends news to talk about. And this is where we get to say, hey, Justin, we don't care. We're tired of Apex Legends.
That's why I said we were going to talk about him behind his back.
Right. We're just, no, anyway. It's good news. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. There's not a lot of news this week. And so that means you get to listen to us talk about games and other things. Like maybe we'll talk about Doritos. Who knows? Speaking of Doritos, Tim Off, how you doing, man? What's your favorite flavor of Doritos?
Spicy nacho.
Okay.
I like the spicy nacho ones. So
all right.
Now I'm gonna have to get me some. I'm doing good. It's again, like I say, probably the last couple weeks. I always look forward Thursday nights because to me it's the beginning of the weekend. I still got to work tomorrow, but just being able to hang out with you guys, talk about games, and talk about the things we hear from the community. It's awesome.
This week this Thursday is really. I'm like that too because I got exposed to COVID-19 on Sunday by my mom. And she didn't know she had it. She didn't know she had it. She was actually coming in to tell me and my wife some other medical news things going on in her. And I say that and it sounds really heavy. And it's kind of serious, but not really. Like she's got a surgery coming up and she just wanted to tell us in person.
Yeah.
And she's not around anybody else. So we don't know where she picked it up, but she went to the doctor the next day and they tested her just off the cuff. And they're like, oh yeah, you're positive. So I got a fun quarantine this week, and I've got a test at some point. I can come back to work. That's fun. But nobody's
you're getting
here.
Vaccinated too, right? So.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 5G reception goes up tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm going to become my own tower. It's going to be fantastic. Jesse Waldack also joining us all the way from the big state of Missouri. How you doing, man? What is your favorite Dorito flavor?
First, Kansas side.
Kansas side. I'm sorry.
Not the Missouri side. And
he likes the states that start with an M. So, Missouri, Minnesota,
Michigan,
Michigan,
Minnesota.
I have always liked Cool Ranch.
My man.
That was
I knew.
Back when I was in college, that was my flavor of choice. I haven't had chips in a long time, with being on keto for over 2 years now. But
can I say this? Like, Doritos to me, like, kind of tie, like, I don't know why, but they kind of tie in with Taco Bell for some reason. Maybe there's just this mind correlation from when I was little. But growing up in the 80s, Taco Bell did not have cinnamon twists. Does anybody remember what they had?
No.
They had cinnamon chips. All right. So it was like the same stuff that they do the cinnamon twists with, but they were like chips instead of twists. And I think Doritos is missing a huge market by not having like a cinnamon sugar Dorito. There's caramel. There's like caramel covered bugles now, which are amazing. There's chocolate covered bugles. Those are fantastic. Cinnamon sugar Doritos.
Hey, you got to remember the snack dads talk is post show stuff.
I know.
You're getting into that territory there.
But here's what I want. Can I just ask people, put your favorite Dorito in the chat. If you're watching us right now, put your favorite Dorito in the chat. I don't know even if you don't like Doritos, just say I don't like Doritos.
What's the favorite snack you have if you're playing games? Do you snack? When you're playing games?
Spicy barbecue. I didn't know there were spicy barbecue Doritos, but I've got to find those. You know what the best chip out right now? Bottom line, I know this is totally off topic. We don't have any news.
We're not on topic right now.
The best is the all dressed Ruffles.
Yeah, those are
all dressed Ruffles are fantastic. Sweet chili. That's what Mecha Dragon says. Justin Masson says regular Doritos.
Why am I not surprised?
Justin, there are no regular flavored Doritos.
He's just talking about nacho Doritos.
He's up there with his Kraft Dinner and his Timbits and all kinds of stuff.
Was there like a fiery red hot?
Yeah, flaming hot Doritos.
Flaming hot. I think the first time I had those, I got sick. I don't think they're related, but that was some interesting colored output.
With chili, salt. I'm seeing salt and vinegar chips, zesty Starburst. This is a time to plug that if you're a $10 and up patron on the post show, I'm going to eat this Ghost Fire Country Meats pork jerky stick. I'm scared to death of this thing because it says made with the world's hottest pepper.
You're going to eat that in the post show.
I'm going to eat it in the post show.
The Snack Dads post show.
If there is the intended reaction, that it will be clipped out and we'll post that. But anyway, let's get on with some real stuff. Let's talk about some real things. We've got a little bit of news to talk about, and then we could talk about what we've been playing because we're backlogged on that for a few weeks. We can talk about several of the things we've been playing. So let's hit the news, shall we? And our news is brought to us by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where you can join in with our Discord and with post and pre-show audio and all kinds of other cool stuff. Maybe even be a producer of the show. It starts at $1 a month and then goes up in different tiers from there. We've got 4 different tiers for you to choose from. We try to keep it a little bit simple so that, it's not all strung out and everything. But guys, here's the thing. I feel like we need to, it's been a while since we've talked about this, and I want to kind of bring it back to the forefront because we're getting kind of close to it. Okay. And that is that there's a threshold that's set in our Discord that once we reach a certain dollar amount, and we won't, or not in our Discord, in our Patreon. We won't talk about that. You can go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and see what that is. And once we reach that monthly dollar amount, we will begin planning Nintendo Dad Con. Like, where we can get together and hang out and play video games and eat Doritos and all those other things
and ghost turkey
that we're doing. And yeah, look, and honestly, I think it'd be really cool. Here's the great thing about this is, would be super killer, coming out of COVID, right? Like coming out, everybody's getting vaccinated, it's dying off, and we get to go back to normal life, and all of a sudden, boom, we get to announce and do DadCon. And there was also a goal in there to send Jesse or send somebody, whoever wanted to go to E3 or PAX East or PAX South or PAX West, wherever that is. We're working on that too. Look, when conventions come back, Nintendo dads are going to cons. That's happening. All right. So Jesse was going to E3.
Yeah, I was booked. I had the airline booked. I had the hotel booked. The Airbnb booked. I had the press pass accepted and ready to go.
Were you staying in the same Airbnb that Kind of Funny stayed in a few years ago?
I have no idea. Probably not.
You know which one I'm talking about, don't you?
No.
It was a dungeon.
Oh.
It was a fun dungeon.
A function?
Just infer what you will from there. They didn't know it till they got there.
Oh, that type of dungeon.
A fun dungeon.
It's Dad's After Dark dungeon.
Yeah. It was, John and Drew over there, they would, it's like their basement. But anyway, you can head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, and you can jump in over there. We would love to have you as a brand new patron of the show. And we're just 7 patrons away from 125. It'd be pretty cool if you were one of those 7. If you're listening and you've been thinking about taking the plunge, now's the time. Tons of great interaction going on over in the Discord. Man, like so much I can't even keep up with it a lot of times. Like I just kind of, it's over, like I get overloaded. And I like to jump in and see what people are talking about. And hey, the Discord, Tim and Jesse, is where a lot of our partner shows have spawned from, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of our Nintendo Dads family. And we announced last week that we've got a new show, or last couple of weeks, we got a new show joining the family with Retro Logic. And don't forget, we've got Dinner Table, Dads After Dark, Dad Crossing, and of course, OG Nintendo Dads. All 5 members of the family now. You can see a new graphic that Tim made up for us over on social media. And speaking of social media and stuff that's been going on, I just wanted us to pause here really quick and just say a huge thank you to each and every one of you guys that participated in Gaming for Guru over the weekend. If you watched a stream, if you streamed yourself, or if you shared the posts or the streams or the hashtag, or if you donated, guys, we had an incredible weekend. And I want to say that right now, as we stand, we're sitting at $20,631 that has been raised so far for Bobby. Now, we didn't do all of that. Yeah. It was sitting at about 8,000.
It was just under 9,000 before the whole G4G campaign kicked off.
Right, just before that weekend. But now, when we announced and started accepting donations and everything, it was sitting at a little over 7,500.
Right, and then when you started streaming Friday morning, it was about 11,000. So we raised several thousand just in the planning stages, and then almost 10,000 since Friday.
Yeah,
during the stream. So that's awesome.
And man, our friends and partners that came in and helped us with this, it was really a group effort. It's not just one person. It's not just Nintendo Dads. Huge thanks to Sean Capri over at the Xbox Drive, Chris Berto over at Mega Dads, all the folks over at PSVG, Console Cato, Holly Crossing, Lizabelle, Quest for Pixels, Joe After Work, and PS Trophy Room, Mr. Badbit from PS Trophy Room. He's continuing to stream this week because he's recovering from COVID and wasn't able to do a lot during the actual weekend. And you can go check that out. But I wanted to read this. And
well, before you do, fan of Mecha Dragon, who writes in almost weekly, he did a stream plugging G4G and says he will continue to do it all month as long as the campaign's up. As far as I know, the campaign's up. It's not our campaign to administer. It was set up by one of his family members.
Yeah, the GoFundMe was set up by Ashlyn Pauls, who's his niece. The official cutoff date for donations, though, is the 26th of January.
For prizes.
For prices. Feel free to donate anything you want anytime. But
they've upped the goal to $30,000. And we want to continue to do that. And maybe this is like after we see kind of where Bobby is and everything, it might be something we need to do again. And we'll be glad to do that. But I want to read this message from Donna, who is Bobby's mom. She posted this Monday on his GoFundMe. If you haven't seen it, here's what it says. We cannot thank you enough. We are beyond grateful. Bobby is taking baby steps forward every day, but it is still going to be a long recovery. Please keep praying. When he does fully wake up and see what his family and friends have done for him, he will be floored. And then she puts the heart emoji and says, thank you. And so, guys, there is still, we're getting like semi-weekly updates from the family. Bobby is recovering. Bobby is off a lot of the machines and things that he was on. And he's still recovering. But, guys, just continue to think about him. Continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And we'll do what we need to do to continue to see him getting. And I just wanted to say thank you. That is an incredible number to look back and be like, we raised almost, over the course of January, we raised about $12,000 for Bobby. It was nuts. And that's not counting some of the T-shirt money that and other stuff that we donated. Some of that, what we were trying to do was push it over that $20,000 level. So we donated some of that we already knew about, and then any of that money that comes in, and any money that comes in for the Gaming for Guru tees at any time, or
any merch
or whatever, any merch that says Gaming for Guru, any of that money is being donated 100% by us, since we're kind of running the store. All of that is being donated to the GoFundMe. All right. If that ever changes or we need to take it down or something, which I can't anticipate us doing, but if that ever has to change, we will make sure in the first place.
And make sure you're buying the Gaming for Guru t-shirt from an authentic source, the Nintendo Dads, Redbubble, or TeePublic stores. Nowhere else.
Yeah, if it's not from the Nintendo Dads store, we actually had a case this week where somebody stole the design and started selling it under their own store. And y'all, that is not cool.
Shady.
That is not cool. Super shady, super scummy. And that's all we're going to say about that. Just be sure that you're buying it go to nintendodads.org and go to that website. And you can still donate. It's the link is bit.ly, bit.ly/gaming for guru. And all of that is words. It's not a number 4. It's just Gaming for Guru. All right. And there's that. So let's talk a few headlines. As Justin has already pointed out in our chat, and we have already alluded to, this week the Japanese Apex Legends Twitter account tweeted that the game would be playable on Nintendo Switch on February the 2nd. Now, this lines up with a new season starting in Apex Legends, but there's not been any confirmation or denial in any other territories, which still kind of classifies this as a rumor, wouldn't you say?
Yes. It's because, we know that not every game is worldwide releases. It's, confirmation that, it's coming, but not still. If it doesn't happen on February 2nd, it's, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised either way.
But, I can't see it happening in one region only that day.
Yeah.
And not all the others.
Yeah, it'll likely happen. But
what's interesting about that,
we've seen weird things happen too.
What's interesting about that is that February 2nd is a Tuesday, and usually large releases on Nintendo Switch happen on Thursday or Friday.
Well, some major third parties do land on Tuesdays too. So
it's typically become Thursday. It could be to line up with a new season, and I don't play Apex right now because Can't play it on the Switch. I don't know when the new season of Apex Legends starts. I think it's around that time.
I think it is the second.
Well, then, if that's the truth, then no, it's set to launch on February 4th.
February 4th. Okay, so yeah,
which would be Thursday.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's there's already some leaks out there about it, and some stuff going on with that. You can go check it out.
There's a Polygon article I just found that does say Feb 2.
Oh, well, I searched new season of Apex Legends, and the Google machine told me February 4th.
There was a February 4th, 2019 season launch. I saw that show up in the search history as well.
There you go. Thank you, Jesse. Justin's not here to prove me wrong. I just read the first thing that popped up. I should have put eyes on it just a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, so that is hopefully happening. I know there's a lot of people excited about it. I'm going to personally be checking out Apex Legends on the Switch. One of the things I wanted to talk about around that too was with HD Rumble and everything. I don't know if you've ever played this game like on the Xbox. I played around with it on Xbox One, and just shooting with this game feels really good. Like the way the controller reacts and the vibration that comes through it, as far as it makes it feel extremely realistic. I'm hoping that they're able to copy some of that stuff in the Switch version, and it's not just left out.
I would think so. Xbox One and even Xbox Series, I don't think has particularly sophisticated Rumble. Not like the Switch and PS5.
I've never played it on PS5, or 4, so I don't know if it does the same thing. I just know that, I was like, man, that feels realistic, as far as when you pull the trigger. And of course, we don't know how good it's going to look either, because I did really notice, and I'll tell you where I've seen some real graphical fidelity noticeable loss is playing Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is it plays great, y'all, but it is definitely a Switch release. It's not bothering my enjoyment of it, but it's kind of made me wonder: do I want to
It's just hard to compare between the two versions.
Should I have played it on PS5 since I have access to it? I don't know. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. New Pokemon Snap was revealed this week to apparently be 6.8 gigabytes in size. But more importantly than that, and more surprisingly, it also features online functionality.
Yeah, it doesn't say what that functionality is.
I'm going to call this right now. It's sharing your photos online.
That's possible.
It's sharing your photos with other players. I feel like that maybe there's going to be like a Nintendo Switch online app thing where you can look at photos or something. I don't know. I still don't get this game. I just don't. I don't get the appeal.
If we didn't play it the first time, it's not nostalgia.
I did play it the first time, Tim. I played. Okay. I played it on the Nintendo 64, and I played it for 5 minutes and went, "This is dumb."
How old were you when you played it?
I was in college.
Well, yeah. Okay. That's what I mean.
I'm cool.
Our informative years,
I'm cool with being wrong on this. I'm just saying that for me,
and you don't even have to be wrong. It's not for you. And hey,
well, okay, I'm cool with it not being for me, and I'm cool with it being for everybody else. I just don't get it. For me,
just like some people don't get why we're nostalgic for certain things too.
No, I get it. Like some people probably look at me and are like, why does he like Mega Man so much? Why is it every year when he streams Extra Life, he plays Mega Man? Because it's good. Anyway, but again, it's my personal taste. Here's what I kind of want to dig into a little bit here. We talked last week about it really looks like Nintendo's spring is really coming together now, right? Like we've seen January, we've seen February, you're getting Mario. March, we're getting Bravely Default 2, new Pokemon Snap in April, and on and on. This is like I get it, and I see people hype for it, and I see people excited about it. but like I'm in that position again where it's like, okay, what am I going to play? Like it. I'm not. I'm not going to get Pokemon Snap. Bravely Default 2. I played the demo and I deleted it 10 minutes into it. Didn't even really like the 3DS game. So like, are you guys there, or are you hype for spring Nintendo?
I'm looking forward to the Mario game next month and Pokemon Snap. I do remember playing the original game when it was new. Again, I was also college age or older at that time, but still, it's just right in the middle of Gen 1. So everything's Pokemon everywhere. But I did like it. I did eventually find out how to take pictures of every Pokemon that was available. And, I think there was only, 60-ish, 70-ish out of the 150 at the time. Now they have 850 or so to choose from, so it'll be interesting to see how large the game ends up being.
Yeah, and I totally forgot Monster Hunter too. And Bravely Default is actually February, so
Monster Hunter is the March game, right?
Monster Hunter's March. Yeah, you got Mario and Bravely Default in February. Monster Hunter. And new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, Monster Hunter and Bravely Default is a pass for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing Monster Hunter. Yeah. The demo gave me all I needed to. And I'm not. Again, that's one that's like I get that has a rabid fan base, and it's probably there for a reason. I thought it looked and sounded gorgeous on Switch. I think it's a really cool get for Nintendo to have, but I guess I'll just be playing Fortnite.
Monster Hunter, I think they've probably done better with their tutorials over the last 5-10 years, but still the Monster Hunter games have a large learning curve.
Yeah, it's almost like, since there is the online element of it, like you need somebody that's a seasoned Monster Hunter player to like come along in the very beginning and say, okay, here's what you do, now here's what you do,
right
now here's what you do, okay, now I'm gone and you're on your own.
Yeah,
like you've played Monster Hunter, haven't you?
Yes.
A lot.
Yes, I haven't finished any of them, but I like them, and I like what I've played, and okay. I got what I felt I needed out of them, and I'm excited for Monster Hunter Rise. And then obviously, I mean, I know we're talking about spring, but I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Stories 2 as well. Supposed to come out this summer, so yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those games, especially Monster Hunter Rise, and I have that pre-ordered, the physical version. So I've got that I'm going to be getting, and then I've got the Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So according to the game store, the Nintendo Switch game store, that's 2 out of the 4 things that's coming out this spring that I'm getting. So I think I'm doing pretty good. And then, just this January as part of this quarter, got Scott Pilgrim, that came out. And then,
well, that's true.
What else came out? Oh, the Hitman games that we just got. So,
yeah, I mean, there's and Hitman 3 being day and date with everything else, even though it was a cloud version, was a huge deal for Nintendo Switch.
Very huge.
And I'm looking forward to playing that at places I have good internet.
Yes.
Just not my house. But right. I mean, that, by the way, I didn't see, and I know I was driving. Did Capcom announce anything Switch related at their big Resident Evil thing today?
I didn't see anything blow up, but I didn't watch it. So
yeah,
I just saw mainly details about that there's a PS5 demo right now.
Okay.
Which I won't play. I like Resident Evil games. That's pee pants territory, and I'm not like no.
Yeah, same here. I've never played an RE game. I never plan on it.
I played Resident Evil 2 on Nintendo 64 actually.
Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 is on sale for like 60% off right now in the
there
US
is a big
eShop.
Well, that's great for the people who want it. I would like to remain dry and not play that game.
I think that
So-
you got to keep this in mind because as an extra life perk, if we get a certain amount of money, we reach a certain point, you have to play some sort of Resident Evil game.
What I was thinking and what I was kind of hoping and what a lot of people were hoping for was that there is a Resident Evil 7 cloud version that's already available in Japan.
Yes.
And that would be announced for Switch, seeing as how they're leaning into cloud versions. But it may be that the profitability of that is not there because 7 has been out for so long.
Well, I don't know. That's because, I mean, we've seen that before where everybody else got that game, but we didn't on Nintendo. And then later on, they release it again for Nintendo.
That's
and
true.
It sells pretty well. So, because there is that part of the market where people don't have two consoles. So they would love to be able to have that chance to play a game that they couldn't from another system.
Yeah, what did they sell Control for? $40?
I think it was $39.99. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think it's was recently added to Game Pass. So
yeah. Yep.
Oh, and
but just options. I'm always for having options.
Tim, I was just taking a look. I was kind of saying and lamenting, what am I going to play? But I mean, there's supposedly Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero are coming out early 2021. Balan Wonderland, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute, is coming out. Surviving the Aftermath, Spelunky's coming.
So, there's a lot of stuff that's unannounced that could pop up at any moment too, especially the indie games.
Yeah, Fist of Fluffs.
You got a Boyfriend Dungeon that's still to be determined. That
I fully believe that's a Jesse Waldack game right there, Boyfriend Dungeon.
That I did have. That one is one I was planning on buying. Yes.
I'll tell you one that, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later when we talk about what we've been playing, but one to keep your eye on that is coming in February is Rogue Heroes Ruins of Tasos. And I'll tell you why. This is one that if you are a Zelda fan, especially like a top-down, Link to the Past Zelda fan, this needs to be on your radar. But I also forgot Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection's coming. Taxi Chaos, which looks like a new Crazy Taxi homage game. Persona 5 Strikers.
Potential for Hollow Knight Silk Song potentially coming.
Yeah.
So
in other words, there's going to be plenty to play. Just maybe not
Verge
from
2,
Nintendo.
Possibly.
Little Nightmares 2, all that good stuff. Anyway, we can go on and on. Speaking of Balan Wonderland, a demo is going to release on January 28th on Nintendo Switch for you to play. Balan Wonderland, of course, is the brand new game that is coming to Switch. And somebody help me here. Why is this a special game? Like, I look at this and I go,
I don't know.
I see people talking about it and they're like, oh, I can't wait. And now look at it, I'm like, this looks like garbage. I'm sorry. It just it looked like they showed off the they showed off like the original demo of it or like demo footage of it, and it looked just really awkward. And some dude in a top hat, like I'm supposed to care about this guy. But it's by Yuji Naka, who, hey, Sonic the Hedgehog, right? I don't know.
Unless that's the only reason why people are excited.
Yeah, so Sonic's father is making it's basically Mecha Dragon in the chat says it's basically a Nights into Dreams game. So
yeah,
if you were a huge
screenshots
fan
I
of
see are very anime.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, I say this is like I think this is going to be my mantra for this episode. If it's your thing, I'm not gonna I don't get it just for me. But somebody brings this up in the chat.
That's our job. That's our job. Marty,
Mecca says this in the chat. He says 3 Square is behind it. But let me just say this. And you got that? Hey, we got called out for using a button on the show, Jesse, this week on Twitter. Can you play that button for me for a minute? Yeah, here it is. Square Enix hasn't made anything good in about 10 years.
Some people might argue with that with the recent remake of an old game. My son actually did play that remake and did it surprisingly fast.
Octopath was good. I'll give him that.
So that one, I still never played that one.
Octopath was pretty good. I didn't finish it, but Octopath was good. Final Fantasy VII Remake was not what I wanted. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't. It did not feel like. Well, no, it did feel like Final Fantasy. It felt like modern Final Fantasy.
My son bought it, so therefore I have it downloaded on my system, and I just haven't gotten around to try it yet.
Like, I guess, I don't know, like, for me, the reason I have that kind of vitriol about it is Kingdom Hearts 3 just hit so wrong for me that...
I didn't even bother.
Yeah, like, my wife and I were talking about it last night, because I've been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS4, on my PS5, because this month's PS Plus game was Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I got it, and I was like, oh, cool, the sequel to Tomb Raider. And then my son, who was 13, he's like, that's not the sequel, Dad. That's number 3. And I was like, there's Rise of the Tomb Raider. So I went and bought the definitive edition of it, and I'm playing through it right now, and it's fantastic. And like, we were sitting there, and I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, and my wife looks at me, and she goes, these are the types of video games I like. I'm okay with you. I'm okay with sitting and watching you playing because they have a story. And I get involved in the story, and so like, I get that. And they have, like, that is a Square Enix game, so they have done well on those. But we got to talking about Kingdom Hearts, and we just both agreed that, like, we waited so long for it, and then it's like, we got that, Yeah,
and I've said this before, but it requires you to know the backstory of 12 previous games.
And there's their mistake. I don't care enough about Kingdom Hearts for that. I just want to see Mickey fighting Sephiroth on top of a flying asteroid that looks like a gummy bear. That's it. Like, just give me that and I'm good. But anyway, this is not Kingdom Hearts Dads. This is Nintendo Dads. And that's all of our news. Literally, that's all our news for this week. And so let's talk about some events, shall we? Hey, so we wanted to remind you that the Super Mario Brothers 35 World Count Challenge is going on right now until January 25th. If players defeat a total of 3.5 million Bowsers during that time, every person who played will receive 350 Nintendo Platinum points.
I think they had to have defeated at least one Bowser, not just play.
Oh yeah, you just got you have to defeat Bowser. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jesse tweeted earlier this week that he had defeated his 10 Bowsers, so he's done his job.
Yep.
You've not beat any more than that?
I didn't play since then.
Okay.
And
I haven't
probably
played
won't.
it all. I haven't played it all since then. I do need to jump in. I do need to play at least and kill at least one Bowser.
Yeah. I beat one Bowser from 1-4, and then as everyone else started beating 1-4, I started getting Bowsers in 1-1, and that's where I killed like 8 of them.
So, question,
Starman, and just wiped them all out.
Question for somebody who has not done this yet: is there a Bowser counter somewhere that shows you how many Bowsers have been killed worldwide?
I don't think I've seen one.
Well, that's not good. I mean, don't give me a goal and not show me how far I've progressed to the goal. That's like dangling a carrot in front of somebody on, like in front of a deer and having it run. And then jerking it away every time. Like, ooh. It's like that commercial with the Allstate commercial where they give you money back, and there's the old guys like, ooh, I got $1.
That is one of my favorite commercials of all time.
That's what this is. Don't dangle the Bowser and not tell me how far or how many more Bowsers I've got to beat before I get to the end. Come on. Anyway.
$1.
Also going on right now, just thought I'd throw this out here. Fortnight Events going on right now. You can get the Predator in-game. All you have to do is go find him and beat him. And Justin and he helped me do that earlier today. So big thanks to Masson for helping me do that. And then tonight, they dropped Sarah Connor and the T-800 in Fortnite. So that's going on. This whole season is bonkers. Like, I don't know who else they're going to bring in. I feel like right now, bounty hunters, period, are like, if their bounty hunter is in the name, then they're coming, right?
Samus isn't out of the running yet.
I don't think so. Actually, the guys over at Megadads and I were tweeting about this morning, and John Wall, he thinks that the hesitance on Nintendo's part would be having Samus running around with assault rifles and grenade launchers.
I can see that.
But then they brought up that in Mario Kingdom Rabbids, the whole thing was about them shooting each other, right? Like there were shotguns and grenades and
with over-the-top comical weapons.
Yeah, John Bassey in the chat. I'm going to call this out because this was exactly what I was about to say. He says, "Dog the Bounty Hunter." Yes, they put Dog the Bounty Hunter in. And you know who else? Another bounty hunter that they need to put in the game. Who was the guy who hit Nancy Kerrigan in the knee with the pipe for Tanya Harding? Jeff Galooly? Yeah, he needs to be in there too. I'm throwing out names.
Wow.
Fictional bounty hunters. Let's go. Yeah, I did go. That was. Yeah.
That happened here in Detroit too.
It sure did. It sure did. Your claim to fame. Dog the Bounty Hunter and hashtag dog for Fortnite. Let's get that trending. But anyway, that's going on. Also, the solid gold mode is on right now, and that's incredibly fun if you've never played that. All weapons are gold, all legendary, all epic chests. You cannot get the Predator doing that, by the way. He does not spawn in solid gold. And some people were like have kind of been like, where is Predator? There's a new jungle area up near the northwest called Stealthy Stronghold that's got these really high walls. He's in there, all right? And he's invisible, and he is a word that I can't say on a family-friendly podcast. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, Jesse, somebody in the chat's asking you, what is the Nintendo website?
Website for what? I'm not sure what
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Which website? To buy eShop games.
Oh, I normally just go to Nintendo.com, search for the game from there, and then I buy the game with...
Yeah, as long as you're signed into your My Nintendo account on the Nintendo.com website, you can buy games there and they'll download automatically to your Switch.
If there's a sale price in the eShop, you'll see the same sale price on the website.
Yes. Somebody said the whole bus drops into Stealthy Stronghold every time. Every time. That's why you do what we did today. You let them wear Predator down, and then you kill them and kill Predator. There you go. Easy thing. Moving on, Pokemon GO, Mega Ampharos can now hatch from Mega Raid eggs. And there's an Incense Day event featuring Mareep coming up on Sunday, January 24th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Your local time.
Local times.
An event exclusive 1 Pokecoin bundle featuring 3 incense will be available to buy. And in addition to Mareep, different Pokemon types will be attracted to the incense at different times. From 11 to 1 and 2 to 4 electric type, and from 1 to 2 and 4 to 5 dragon types that evolve into dragon types. So
I thought it was interesting that they were that specific.
Dragon types that evolve into dragon types. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Well, guys, let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we? Tim, we're going to start with you because you're at the bottom of the list. I always start at the bottom and go to the top.
All right. All right. So what I've been playing, just this, I guess, since last show, I haven't been playing much because I've been very busy around here. So it's been very hard to get some gaming time in. But when I have, other than, what we've played during the Gaming for Guru weekend, we did a lot of multiplayer. We did some Among Us, and I actually did Among Us on Sean Capri's stream that weekend too, toward the end of his shift before he played Fall Guys. So, but yeah, we played for quite longer than I expected because I joined in I can't remember what time it was. I want to say it was like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning for me. And I was up playing Among Us with him and everybody else from the Me and Capri show type, the Patreon there. A lot of people joined in till I think we were up to like 5 or 6 in the morning, my time. So it was like that day I just got a couple hours of sleep. I was up way longer than I thought I was going to be. But I had a lot of fun with that group there. It was a blast. Then I played a lot of 2-player games with Sam. Played some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I actually played a lot more than I have recently, probably all last year, if I think about it. But I played some of Byleth. I've been using that character and really liking how he or she plays, depending on which one I pick. I like her sword whip thing. The sword that turns into a whip. I like that mechanic there. And my kids hate it though. So, and then we tried Cuphead again because my son was like, "What other 2-player games can we play?" And I was like, "I don't want to buy any more games. So what do I have already?" And so I broke out Cuphead and we played that. And it was like, "Oh yeah, this is how hard that game is."
Right?
It's a hard game. And then I got him to try Scott Pilgrim with me. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, 2-player, and that was fun. We got through the first stage and had a lot of fun with that. I don't know if I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not sure if he did.
Can I give you a hint about Scott Pilgrim I found out this week?
Sure.
And I know that there's some people watching the show who play this and had expressed like it's difficult, and it is. Like I'm at the 3rd stage and I cannot beat the boss, like solo. So
yeah,
in the very first stage, there is a video store that you can go into where you can pay off Scott Pilgrim's late fees. All right.
Okay.
Want to pay off Scott Pilgrim's late fees.
Got it.
Because when you do that, it gives you access to a secret menu of items that you can't buy anywhere else that level Scott up incredibly quick. Now, It only works for one character, so every person has to do this. They have to pay off the late fees for themselves. It's $500 in late fees.
Wow.
But
so you have to do a lot of grinding then to get that $500?
No.
Oh, okay.
There is a code. All right. Hang on. I'm going to tell you what it is.
Oh, I need to write this down.
Yes, you do.
All
All right. So here is the code, and it's still it's called Noble Sacrifice. Okay. And what it does is it gives you $50 at the cost of a life. And basically what you do is you just use up all your lives, go back to the map screen, come back in, do it until you get this. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to hold down the jump button, which on the Switch is B. Okay? Holding down the jump button, you're going to press up, up, down, down, left, right, A. And you'll die. But what you want to do is you want to be playing this with 2 players, and you can do it multiple times. All right? So once you do that, you can pay off Scott's late fees and makes the game so much easier. There's also, if you've seen the movie, you know that there is you can get the Power of Love sword.
Right.
Right? I'm looking for that cheat right now because you can get, here it is. It is, there's not a Switch. Crap.
Going back to that,
go ahead. Go ahead and talk to it. I'll come back.
Going back to the hold down the jump B and then doing the up, up, down, down, left, right, A. What did you have to do before you hold down the B button?
You don't. You just hold down the B button.
Okay. Well, what's this for again? So this is to die.
It's called Noble Sacrifice, and you get $50 per life. Okay.
50.
Now,
Gotcha.
the other one, I believe I've just found this, is here it is, the Power of Love Sword. On Nintendo Switch, you enter this code at the title screen, not during the game. The other one you do while you're playing the game. At the title screen, you hit YYYBAX.
Why not?
YYYBAX, and it gives you the most powerful sword in the game. It shoots a beam out in front of it, and it will usually last for an entire stage. It will break. It will usually last for an entire stage. Just be sure you don't get hit and drop it, because the enemies will pick it up and they will use it on you.
Right. Got it. That's funny.
So there's your Scott Pilgrim cheats.
Gotcha.
Go enjoy the game. It's fantastic. You should buy it. It is. Mecha Dragon says, "Welcome to Cheating Dads." Yes. Cheating Dads.
Wait a minute. I don't know if we want that kind of name.
Oh, I just realized something. It's an entirely different podcast.
It's a different
Dads After Dark.
Totally different.
Just kidding. Just kidding. We love those guys over there.
That's funny.
We just throw all the After Dark stuff at them. Anyway, I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
I just wanted to get that in so I didn't have to talk about Scott Pilgrim when we get the mic.
One says something that if you buy a tea, you won't die. So you keep, even if you do the global sacrifice.
Get tea from the snack shop so you won't die. It keeps you alive. Go back in, buy the tea, then do the code again until you can pay off the video debt.
See, I gotta get my pen and paper back out.
And some people are saying, Ebucel says he did buy it, but limited run games. He bought the physical edition. I'm jealous.
So he won't be able to try it for 6 months.
I did buy it as well, but I had to get the digital so I could play it now. And then,
there was a really expensive version too. It was like $300 or something.
150. I think it was only 150.
Too much.
But yeah, no, I wasn't getting that one.
All right, I'm sorry. Onward.
Okay.
Let's continue. What have we been playing? Anything else, Tim?
Single player stuff. Continuing to play Animal Crossing. That hasn't died. Not as much as before the holidays, obviously, leading up to the holidays, but here and there going in, looking, especially if the community wants something or my family is looking for something. And I was trying to personally work on stuff in my house because I hadn't done that in a while. I was always working on stuff outside because I'm trying to get past 150,000 points for the home. What do you call it? Home club, whatever it was that gives you an award for your house. So I've been trying to get the 150,000 points because I'm just at 124,000. So we've been talking about that in the Discord a lot. I think there's a couple other people who are doing the same, kind of giving their house some love to try to get to that point as well.
I gotta get back in and get some more snowmen built.
Yeah, I've been doing that off and on, and I've kind of found my groove in making the perfect snowmen to get the snowflakes, the big large snowflakes I still have a couple more DIYs to get. So
17 seconds for the bottom, 12 seconds for the top.
Oh, I didn't even know about counting. That's cool.
Like I just count and sometimes if the bottom's looking a little smallish, I'll do an extra second.
Okay.
But from the second you're able to start rolling it, 17 seconds for the bottom, 12 seconds for the top.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Still I've lost my mojo on it lately. Like I can't get it. Like the last two I've built have been so frustrating.
Right. Yeah. I was frustrated at the beginning of that mess because it was like I could not get it, and I didn't have the space to build the recommended thing that the Dad Crossing crew talked about with what was it, Michael? I think it was too, that you could build some like walkways and use that to help build it. I didn't have the space for that, so I was getting frustrated because I could not get any perfect snowmen, and I was already frustrated because I wasn't getting any of the Christmas decorations. I still haven't gotten any of those things, like any Christmas trees. I have no Christmas trees.
They showed all that stuff in the December trailer.
Yeah.
And then it never showed up.
I have none of that stuff. I'm so frustrated.
To me, that is the most disappointing thing in a year of that game. Is
right.
The snowmen plus the Christmas decorations.
Yeah. I was so looking forward to Christmas because of Halloween, how well they did Halloween.
Yeah. Oh, Halloween
I was like,
fantastic.
I can't wait. Start getting some of those decorations, and I'll slowly build up the Christmas look on my island and all that kind of stuff. And I got a couple wreaths, and
now you got to wait a whole nother year to be disappointed again.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Something to look forward to.
I am looking forward to the themes. Hopefully, that they're going to do like the Super Mario one that they do in March. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that.
Oh, that'll be cool.
So, but I'm still, I'm not. I go in, maybe do some few tasks, see who's on my island, because I'm still trying to complete my the artwork, in my museum. So,
Justin wants you to know that you're a perfect snowman.
No, who said that? Oh, Justin did. Oh, thanks, Justin.
You're a perfect snowman.
He just doesn't want us to talk about him and why he's gone. That's all.
That's right.
So, and then actually, it was something I picked up at Walmart. I've always wanted to get one of the pinball games because I've been wanting to try a pinball game in the Tate mode, and so I picked up Star Wars Pinball for $20 at Walmart, and I had an absolute blast with it. I used the flip grip thing that we got a couple of years ago. Finally, put that to good use and plugged that in there and just had a blast playing it. So,
if I needed to find my flip grip to live right now. I'd be a dead man. I'd be a dead man. I don't know where it's at.
You got 1 minute, find it, Marty, or else you die.
We're gonna go back.
I'm looking at three unopened ones up here.
Yeah. I got one in a box in here somewhere too. So
should give one of those away.
That's what they were for.
I bought extra ones for show giveaways, and we always forget about them. So we can probably include that to the G for G giveaway.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll add it to the Guru giveaways. That'd be cool. We'll let you ship out a couple of those. Yeah. Well, Tim, thanks, man.
Sure.
Star Wars Pinball is you made a good pickup there.
Yeah, I mean it sounds awesome. It's just in the gameplay, and then they even have leaderboards on there where you could see, against the world, against the region, and against your friends. And so that was pretty cool to see and pick up, and just, easy to pop in, play a few games, see if you can rack up some points, and then just hop on out. And you can play it in regular mode too. It doesn't have to be in the portrait mode. I can play it in landscape, but it was just so fun to be able to see the whole table and just play it in that way and actually use my flip grip. So that's cool. And it's making me wish that they would re-release the Metroid Pinball, and bring it out like on the Switch. That would be.
They are, Tim. It's in the Metroid Prime collection.
That would be so cool if they did that.
With Metroid Prime Federation Force.
That would be cool. Well. I would even take Metroid Prime Hunters if they added that to the collection. I would do that.
So while we're talking about Tate mode games, did you know that the Final Fantasy Legend collection you can play in a vertical aspect ratio?
I did not.
Unfortunately, it's upside down if you want to use the flip grip.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think you mentioned that. So you can't use the flip grip.
So I'm like,
I heard that somewhere.
Why not allow for vertical both ways at least?
So close.
Yeah, the pinball. The pinball game was it Zen Studios? They actually have a button in there where you can actually flip the table and have it whichever way you wanted vertically.
That's so smart.
So I would think they should do that.
Menu and hunt for it. That's really cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Jesse, what have you been playing?
So last week I talked about starting Zelda 2: Adventure of Link because of the nostalgia episode that aired on Friday. And we talked about it a little bit on the dinner table last week that we live streamed. And I said before playing that, I tried playing Mario 3 because that was the Retro Rewind game, and I just wasn't in the mood. And I just got frustrated with it right away. So then I went from that to playing Zelda 2. And so they gave me a little grief for that, saying, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. So I was amused. I did finish the game, rolled credits. I think that's the first time I actually finished that game in at least 20 years. Though I did exploit save states and rewinds. I'm not guilty. I'm not. I don't feel guilty for doing that at all. And one thing I did forget about during the credit roll, apparently they don't have room for all the names, just for character space. So they just kind of have made up or abbreviated names from like you can tell like one is supposed to be Miyamoto and whatnot. One of them, people jokingly call him Shiggy. One of them, the names was Chigi-chan. I'm like, is that supposed to represent him, or is that just a completely made-up name? But I just found out humorous. Okay, then Dad's After Dark also wanted me to plug the monthly Mayhem game, which is Donkey Kong played on the NES Nintendo Switch Online app. And since they have no way of proving or disproving if you've cheated, they basically said, go nuts, do what you want with it, we don't care. So I've been going nuts with it. I've all the rewinds, all the save states. I did eventually eat one life just because I got pinched by 2 fireballs, and I'm like, no amount of rewinding would have saved me from that, so I just ate that life. But I don't know if you can see this, but every tick mark is a level that I've completed, or at least what I think it is. So I've completed 100 levels ish. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if I missed one in ticking as I completed the levels. I think the kill screen is around 133. I do plan on at least making a small video, at least sending a tweet out with that video when I do hit the kill screen.
Nice.
And so the monthly Mayhem's available to any patron. The deadline is January 31st at noon Eastern. Is the submit your highest score that you're able to accumulate. If you break 1 million, it doesn't show the millionth digit. So at least try be honest in how many millions you have. Apparently, if you do get the kill screen, you should be somewhere in the 3 million department. And
so basically the goal is to beat Jesse.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily going for points. I'm not trying to farm points like these. I'm just trying to beat the levels. If I happen to hit a hammer and happen to knock down 10 barrels for 5,000 points, sure, great. But if I don't, I'm not rewinding to try to do that again. Yeah, Mecha says 100 levels. The game only has 3. No, the game has 3 stages per level. When you get back to the barrel stage, then you start level 2. And then you do this until the game finally breaks at 133-ish. And
if you can play it for that long.
Right. And again, with you can save states. So I've been doing this. This is over the course of 4 nights. I've been playing an average of 20 to 30 levels a night. I expect to get to kill screen sometime on Saturday. I don't think I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we definitely need a video of that.
Yeah, and what it's a kill screen because you normally have the timer says 8,000 and it ticks down by hundreds. So it's about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. It's not 100 per second, but it's that's how the timer works. When you reach the kill screen, that 8,000 shows 400. And you're not going to get very far with only 400 on the timer.
No.
So that's why it's the kill screen.
You're getting out of here.
It's not like a Pac-Man kill screen where the screen's all glitchy.
Okay.
But there are when you get to the higher levels, sometimes the screen can glitch, and I've been taking videos of those and posting them on Twitter. So go ahead and have a look at those if you're interested.
Yeah, awesome. So I've already talked a little bit about what I've been playing. One of the things I've been playing this week is Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS5, the PS4 version, obviously, and just really, really enjoying that and getting that out of the way because that's Nintendo. But if you ever get a chance to play it or the other Tomb Raider games, the kind of the revival reboot of that. They're fantastic. And so be sure to check those out. And I think
And once Marty's
Shadow-
done with that, it'll be coming out for the Switch. So then you'll be able to play.
Right. Exactly. Now that I've paid $30 for
Streaming
the
only.
Rise. Yeah, it'll be streaming only. I've also been playing, and I don't want to sit in this pocket too long, but just to talk about it, is Dicey Dungeons. And this is a game that originally it launched the same day that something else high profile launched. And I think it was Super Meat Boy Forever. And this launched the same day. And I remember looking at it and going, this looks like it sounds like it would be okay, be a game that's right up my alley. But then I looked at screenshots of it, and I think it's a game that doesn't do well just looking like that probably won't sell well just looking at screenshots. Basically, it's a roguelike role-playing game set in 5-stage chunks where you are a character of a certain class that gets turned into a giant living dice, and you have to go through and defeat enemies, and each character has their own little quirks and things like that. And I was immediately hooked as soon as I played it. The music is fantastic. The writing is stupid, funny, hilarious. It's not like you're not going to look at it and go, oh man, this is the most graphical, intense game I've ever played. But like just the enemy design is kind of quirky and funny. It reminded me a little bit of Undertale in the way the enemies were designed, at least like kind of tongue in cheek. Like there's one enemy who's a handyman and he has 6 arms because he's handy.
Right.
Yeah.
Get it? And like I would say this,
and I liked his attacks. It was he had an ability that does end damage, but if you give it a 6, it does an additional effect.
Yeah.
But then he had a support card that combines 2 dice together that he can use 2 or 3 times.
What I really like about this game is the strategic element. I was trying not to say the word strategery, which is a word we laugh about a lot at our house. But
I love that word, strategery.
The strategy of the game and it changing every playthrough, like and especially like once you unlock some of the higher difficulty characters. The inventor is one of them who drives me nuts because like the item that she uses in battle breaks. Like at the end of the battle, she's like, I don't want to use this anymore. And she breaks it and puts 2 things together and you get a new item for the next fight. And it's incredibly frustrating, but
because you'll eventually, if you're not careful about which order you defeat enemies so you can pick up more items, you're going to run out of items.
Yeah. It's not cool at all. But I've beaten the first level of all 4 characters I have unlocked right now. So I need to put some more time into it, but it's fantastic. Like you're a role-playing fan or strategy game fan or roguelike fan, you'll love it. The other thing I've been playing, and I really want to talk about this one here for just a few minutes, is there's a demo on the eShop right now for Rogue Heroes Legends of Tasos, which is coming to Nintendo Switch in February from Team 17. If you are a fan of Link to the Past, you need to go download this demo right now. This is class-based roguelike Link to the Past combined with a few Stardew Valley elements and some ActRaiser elements as well.
I don't know if I like those things together.
Well,
Yeah.
I know.
I heard roguelike and I'm like,
So check this out. So you start the game off and it looks like Link to the Past. The character's in the bed, you get up and you're sent out on a quest and you get to this dungeon where there's 4 dungeons in the world. And what you're supposed to do is get down deep in the dungeon and defeat the boss there, right? But every time you go to the dungeon, it's different. And as you defeat enemies in the dungeon, you get glass versions of items. Like you get a glass boomerang or a glass bomb pouch or a glass hook shot or a glass bow and arrow. And basically what it is like you've got it in the game until you die. When you die, you get resurrected back in town and you keep all the gems you've found in the dungeon. The gems then go on to be spent in town to build things like a blacksmith or a place where you can, like an apothecary, where you can level up your magic or level up your health, or and in a place where you can get inventions where you can unlock a permanent boomerang or a permanent bomb bag and different things like that. All of this is going on. So that's why I said, like I said somewhere to somebody before, I was actually Phoenix Moore, who is a friend of ours on Twitter. I said it was like Link to the Past and ActRaiser had a baby, and it was roguelike. And it's super cool.
Yeah, I triggered the demo to download, so I'll give that a try this
I will
weekend.
tell you this, it's incredibly difficult. Like I just found that it was incredibly difficult because especially in the dungeons, there's like you remember in Link to the Past where you would have to find like the various little places to step on, and like if you stepped on it, it would open a door or it would cause bombs to drop on you or something like that, like a trap
like
panel.
Pressure switches.
Those are everywhere. Those are everywhere, and there's holes in the walls that shoot arrows at you, and sometimes the screens are dark, which means you only have like a candlelight circle around you, but it's still so much fun. Like, and there's also, I learned there's unlockable classes in the game, and you can actually play this multiplayer as well. And I believe it's going to be online, local.
Yeah, it
and
does say online
multiplayer.
play. It does say online.
You're going to be able to
play.
have 4-player Link to the Past. I'm
That's,
in.
That's what I'm kind
so
of intrigued
in.
by right there.
Like it is so amazing.
You know, it'd be interesting.
Just give us 4 swords.
Okay,
again.
so like here's the thing, like you know how people and decidedly so were hyped for Hades.
Yeah.
Like when it came out, and afterwards, that's how hyped I am for this. Like having played it, it's genius. I think it does some things that 4 Swords maybe didn't do right. It's quick. It plays good. I don't know. Just go download the demo. You don't have anything to lose. So if you're a Zelda fan or a roguelike fan, go download this demo. There's literally 0 cost buy-in.
You know, if we all like it, if we all like it, and like including Justin, if he downloads it and tries it and he likes it, and the 4 of us get it, we should try playing together.
Yeah.
Online. That'd be cool.
So
and do a stream of it.
my 3 games I've been playing this week. Well, I was going to mention too. I've gotten sucked back into Enter the Gungeon, and I'm playing it daily now, and I'm still finding things, like still finding new guns, still finding new enemies, and new configurations for rooms. Mm-hmm. So 3 of the games I'm playing, 3 of the games I recommend this week are all roguelike games. It's my thing. Like, you know what would be great if they made a roguelike Mega Man, and they kind of did with 20XX, but I fell off of that. It was more Mega Man X. Like, give me old school Mega Man roguelike. Delicious. But yeah, go check out Rogue Heroes Legends of Tasos. Somebody has asked us to do this, guys, to wrap up our games we've been playing with the names of the games we've been playing. Because sometimes the discussion goes and then it's like, well, what game were they talking about? So yes. I talked about Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS5, Rogue Heroes, Legends of Tasos, Dicey Dungeons, and Enter the Gungeon on Nintendo Switch. Jesse talked about Legend of Zelda Adventure of Link. You can play that on NES or on the app with Nintendo Switch Online, and Donkey Kong as well. Tim talked about Among Us, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Cuphead, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, the Complete Edition, and Animal Crossing New Horizons and Star Wars Pinball, the Zen, who is it?
Studios.
Zen Interactive?
Zen Studios, yeah.
And I do put in the little notes in the description of the podcast and in the YouTube video, I do put these games in there too. So feel free to look there if you.
And I think it was also Drew who asked if we can remember, and I always forget to do this, that we say when we say the name of the game at the beginning of what our description is, that we say the name of the game at the end if we can. You know,
yep. That's why I wanted to go back and kind of collect them. I know it wasn't exactly that way.
Because we keep forgetting. I get it.
And so, guys, it is time to turn on the community spotlight. So let's do that. We got a couple of questions and a voicemail, but before we get into that, I want to throw a shout out to Quag311 in the chat, who dropped in with this gem of a comment, saying, "I'm hoping if EA decides to port Mass Effect, the Mass Effect remake to Switch, Justin has a playthrough and calls the series Massin Effect."
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me.
It's going to happen now. He's got to do it.
Yeah. He also made a comment that when he logged in that, Quag 311 is listening to episode 311.
Yes.
If only it was March 11th.
Yes.
That would be some kind of weird convergence.
Well, we do. This one's probably the closest we can get to that. Today is the 21st day of what was it?
It's a palindrome. Every day this week was a palindrome.
No, those. How do they word it now?
Or every day for the next, I don't remember how it worked.
It was the 21st day for the 21st year in the 21st century or something like that.
That's it. It was 321s.
Sorry.
And then and then a few hours ago it would have been the 21st hour of the 21st day.
Yes.
Yesterday was the palindrome day. It was 1/20/21. Same thing backwards. Andros over on Discord asked this question as we were talking about Zelda and said, which version of Ganondorf/Ganon is your favorite and why? Tim has a visual aid.
The book of Hyrule I got out here. Whoops, I hit the mic as I'm trying.
The book
it's
of
so
Hyrule.
Big. The book of Hyrule.
The Zelda Bible.
I was referencing this because I had to make sure I had it right. But basically, the Twilight Princess one, because of the form he has before and after, it's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah.
And I hope I get to look at it in HD.
That's Dreadlock Ganon, right?
Yes.
That is his. That's the one that we
Ganon
see
to
in Smash
Ganondorf?
Brothers. Yeah, that is the Smash Brothers version.
Yes. And then how he transforms into the,
And
Ganon
actually,
to Ganondorf. From
I'll-
Ganon to Ganondorf.
I'll say this: it was Ganon in the, Ganondorf in Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS. Didn't they change him to match his Ocarina of Time version more in Smash Ultimate, or was that just Zelda?
Well, Zelda's more like Link Between Worlds.
Kinda, yeah. Maybe he is the one that is more Ocarina of Time. Jesse, what about you? Favorite version of Ganondorf/Ganon?
Yeah, during the conversation, it was we always had someone brought up the fact that even most of these games all have a different Link, but many games have the same Ganon from being sealed and then unsealed and sealed again and unsealed. So even though could be 3 or 4 different Links, it's still canonically the same Ganon. But in terms of which I think there's a toss up between the Twilight Princess one and the Wind Waker one, which again I think are the same Ganon, probably in different timelines. But they're both unsealed versions of what was sealed from Ocarina of Time, I think.
Gotcha.
Just stab in the head. You can't beat that.
Well, you guys, my favorite version of Ganon is Ganon from the Legend of Zelda cartoon. No, it's not. I'm just kidding.
Excuse me, princess.
My favorite Ganon is Wind Waker Ganon because the best Zelda is Wind Waker. Just everything in that game is a masterpiece. I love Ganon in that. I will say this: I think the characterization of Ganon in Wind Waker is probably my favorite because he's such a menace over the whole story. Like you see him early on. He's that shadow looming over everything, and then just that the way he was designed, that iconic, the robe with the big hanging sleeves, and all that.
Him and Ocarina of Time are, he's like the big focus of the whole game. Unlike
there he is.
Unlike things like I can't even think of examples, but a lot of the games, like Twilight Princess, for example, is he's not the first big bad you see, but after you defeat him, but he was behind it the whole time. That trope.
Yeah,
that happens more than once.
Jesse,
I do have to say the Ganondorf, the Ganon in Ocarina of Time looks pretty cool.
He's buff, man.
Yeah, he's like crazy.
And that is the one that they used for Smash. Now that I'm seeing him, I'm surprised you didn't say the shadow of Ganon from Zelda 2's death screen. That scared the as a little kid.
I think
scared me to death.
That laugh is also the same laugh used in the Punch-Out game.
Is it also the same laugh that's used in Kung Fu?
I don't know.
When the big strong guy beats you every time?
It's probably been 35 years since I played that game.
That's a game that needs to come to the NES Online app, is Kung Fu. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I think that's in licensing limbo, I think.
What? Licensing for what? What did they license?
The Kung Fu.
It's based on a Kung Fu movie.
Yeah, the movie or the TV show.
Loosely,
or something like
I don't know.
Oh, who cares? Just give me
At least it is in Japan. I don't think it
if
had
you can
that.
give me Scott Pilgrim 10 years later, you can give me Kung Fu.
but there was money traded hands with that.
No, seriously, Nintendo's got money. They've sold 40 billion flipping Switches.
I think the question is not that they were willing to spend it, but who do they spend it to? That's the problem with a lot of these old games.
If they don't know, get it out there. I mean,
if they don't know, they'll come out.
They'll find out the hard way.
Right, they'll get a letter and they'll be like, "Hey, you owe us some money," and Nintendo will be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
We tried to find you. So.
We tried to find you. I promise. We posed the question in the chat here. Who's your favorite version of Ganon and Ganondorf? Ms. 1K3 says Samurai Ganondorf from Hyrule Warriors.
Okay.
Really cool. I love that design as well. He was like dragging those swords behind him as he ran. Yeah.
Nice.
Roy Porter says Calamity Ganon. John Bassey says, "Give me that Piggy Ganon." The love for the Piggy Ganon. And then I got to say, Tim, I know he just shows up there at the very end, kind of like a Final Fantasy villain. But that Twilight Princess Ganondorf was a cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool moment. And y'all, the version, like the Piggy Ganon version from Smash Brothers Ultimate is really cool looking too. Big towering. It's the Ocarina of Time Ganon. Ganon, obviously. That was a cool one as well. I just like Ganondorf. I know that Skyward Sword was kind of like how Ganondorf, like demise and all that. Like, I would love to see some more backstory of our favorite Zelda villain there.
Yeah.
Be
Like
cool.
like the original Ceiling of Demise.
Yes. Let's get into that. Let's dig into that. That would be really good. G Acre says Ganon from Zelda 2. He only laughs at game over. See, there you go. Somebody's a Zelda 2 fan as well. Over on Twitter, Shy Guy 24 asks us. This is a great question. Do the Indads feel cloud games should cost as much as regular retail versions? Ooh, I wish Justin was here to talk about this.
All right.
What say you guys?
So, my answer is probably different than what he's expecting to hear. First, ignoring cloud, I think digital games in general should be less expensive than physical because it is a cost-saving measure on the publisher. So that should be passed down to the end user, I would like to think. Now, presuming we're in a world where that happens. So, digital game, you have a physical file you downloaded, but do you really own the game? That's debatable. Cloud games, again, obviously you don't own the game, but you have a license to play it. I'm thinking a cloud cost and the digital cost should be similar. Maybe not exact, but close. Both being cheaper than the physical. That's kind of what I would
But
imagine.
is there a difference in hosting a game to download and running a game that plays?
Oh, a little bit. Both, both either side are servers running on the other end. It's, one side is less processor intensive, more network intensive. The other is probably more so network intensive if it has to render a game, but it also has to have the processor and the GPU to per user, and so ultimately that server is going to be more expensive. But you like if I spend money to buy a computer, I still have even though the computer isn't being used, that's the money I spend on it. But if I'm playing on someone else's server, if I'm not playing it, someone else can be. So the costs of that can still be offset by multiple people using it. So it's, and where you download a file, you download it once, ignoring updates, and you're done.
So here's my question. Going along with what you're saying, Jesse, how much is Control on Xbox right now?
I don't know, but I can try to look.
I'm sure it's on sale.
GameStop.com says Control is $29.99. That's new. That's brand new. But now is
that's
Control,
a disc?
That is the disc. That is the physical edition. The Nintendo Switch version, is it the definitive edition?
I think it is.
Let's just take a look. Again, I'm Googling because, it is Ultimate Edition. So the Ultimate Edition of Control on Switch is, got to get past the age gate here. So I believe it was $39.99, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, $39.99. So let's look up Control.
On Xbox digitally, the standard edition is $30, and if you have Game Pass, you can get it at a discount to buy to keep. And if the game goes off of Game Pass, then if you buy it, you still get to keep it.
So,
or if you just play it because it's on Game Pass, that's free in quotes, because But if it goes away, then you no longer have access to it.
Control Ultimate Edition for Xbox One on GameStop.com is $39.99. So we're not paying a Switch tax here with this game, even though you can get a physical edition there. You can't get it physically on Switch, of course, because it's running cloud. But I'm agreeing with you.
It does go on sale.
Also, just because GameStop has it at $40 doesn't mean that's MSRP. It's because the game is older. Normally, if it's like 2 months, maybe even less lately, GameStop will start dropping price.
Right. Well, I have Ultimate and New ticked on that, and so I thought that maybe it would be the same. I'm just going to look up Control Ultimate Edition for Xbox on Amazon as well, just to be sure. It's also $39 there.
I don't see I don't see Ultimate Edition on the Xbox. I think you have to buy the standard edition, then you have to buy the DLC.
Okay. I'm with you on this. Like, I feel like you've eliminated the hassle of packaging. You've eliminated the cost of shipping. You've eliminated the cost of printing. Why is it still the same price? If you want me to switch over and buy all my games digitally, which is what a lot of companies are doing, I feel, because it kills the trade-in market, then make them cheaper.
Right. Well, in addition to that $60 game, in addition to the cost of the cart, the packaging, and whatnot, the store that sells it gets a cut of that too.
Right. This time it's going all the way. Like, all of the stuff is going to the developer, going to the publisher. I don't see why that's a big deal. I don't see why that's a problem. But again, if it's in the store, it's kind of like the dilemma that I'm facing right now as I think about buying Mario 3D World, right? Mario 3D World on the Switch, I can pre-order it and I can download it because I'm probably never going to trade it in. I'm not going to trade it in. It's $59.99, right? $65 after tax. Or I could just wait till the day of, roll into Walmart and buy it for $49.99 and spend $50
Right.
or $55 instead of $65 and save $10. But digitally, I'm more likely to, like, I'm always going to have it with me, right? And on demand or on cloud like that, I feel like that's where Nintendo needs to pass on the savings. I realize Walmart is the one that's doing that. It's not Nintendo. But if Nintendo were to just come out and say, all of our digital games from now on are going to be $45, $45 plus tax. That to me is more appealing than going down to the store, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, and a lot of the reasons why the digital prices do still match the physical ones is to appease the physical stores, because if they get upset, they'll stop selling it. But I don't know if we talked about GameStop possibly going 100% online and shutting most, if not all, the stores during dinner table last week. If that happens, what's now the Best Buy probably isn't as picky because they do more things than GameStop. Amazon, they might get a little upset, but again, they sell more stuff than Best Buy. And I think GameStop is probably the biggest thing that would be holding that back. If GameStop goes away, maybe we might have this feature.
If GameStop does go all digital, I don't really understand the need for GameStop anymore.
Exactly.
I don't I love GameStop and like good people.
They're still doing retro.
Good people work at my local GameStop, right? Like I don't want them to lose their jobs. I don't want them to have to go find something new, because like our manager here at GameStop's been here for years, but we've like, they know me when I walk in. They call me by my name. You can't get that online.
Right.
And plus, I've not found an online store that can get a game in my hand at the same time as that everybody else gets it. And that's a huge downside to me. So I don't want them to go away, but also if they do, then why exist at all? Because I could just go buy it through Nintendo, or I can go buy it through the PlayStation store.
The chat's talking about gold points, where you can claim gold points on cartridges by going into the options, and if you buy it digitally, it's just automatic. Mole says that you get the same gold coins for a cartridge versus digital. Is that true now? It used to not be. It used to be 5%. It was 5% digital and 1% physical.
Right.
Third. He says he could be wrong. So yeah. So again, Nintendo has that extra incentive for people who want to collect the gold points to get future discounts to buy digital. Again, one of the reasons why I do, and which is a spin-off of Wii U's original program where you got 10%.
And I think in the chat, Mecha Dragon says this: Nintendo will just try to entice players with extra gold coins. I think if you are going to have digital and physical, I think there should be some incentive for me to spend the same amount of money that I'm going to spend in a store for a digital copy, right?
Yeah, there has been some games where they offer double the coins, so you get the 10% instead of 5%.
Let's do some more of that, like maybe like some digital instruction books, or you can redeem that code and then my Nintendo will send you a thing of stickers or something like that. I'm just saying there's got to be a better way, but let's keep in mind too, Nintendo's not the only company that's doing this. It's across the board. They're the same cost for digital everywhere. So
right.
Until one company pulls the lever and changes it, the others won't either.
In fact, Microsoft and Sony and the new games are going up to $70, and still the same $70 physical or digital.
Yeah.
Which doesn't last very long anyways, if we've seen, before, where it starts off at that mark and then, a few months later it goes on sale. So right. If you want to buy it day one, you're going to pay, top dollar for it. But if you wait a couple months, it'll drop like half the price.
Then at that point, you might as well get a physical instead of digital, because you're still going to pay that $70 digital.
Right.
Again, which
unless
is,
you get it on sale during
again,
one of their sales.
Which
too.
is why normally, if I don't buy a game on day one, I normally won't get it. Because even if it goes discounted, that means I have to buy physical and have to deal with that.
Yep. And one of the things I was going to mention in regards to the cloud or digital versus regular retail versions is that, yeah, it seems like there's a lot of cost savings there, but we have to remember the infrastructure they have to pay for, and either whether if they don't have it on premises themselves, like say Microsoft with their Azure stuff, Sony signed a contract with Microsoft to hold a lot of their games, and who knows where Nintendo holds theirs. They got to pay for that space to hold those games, and that might be some of that cost. I'm not sure. And bandwidth to play it, yeah, or like those cloud-based games, like you said, Jesse, the bandwidth for you to be able to play it without latency, I guess, if you will. So, but there's going to be a balance, and then also whatever money they do make from that, the goal is to take that money and be able to create the next game, right? So we got those things to keep in mind. I don't know all the percentages and all the stuff now, and I'm sure there'll be an article, if there isn't one already, that explains all that stuff about the cost that went into retail versus cost that goes into digital versus cloud.
Lori Porter says Nintendo is hosted at GeoCities, judging by their online performance.
Yes.
I love it. Well, guys, good discussion around that. And I'm sure Justin would be here if he were on the show, he'd be telling us why we were all wrong and why we should think just like him. And business. Justin was right. But he's not, so who cares, right? We have one more community spotlight, a voice message or a voicemail from Mecha Dragon.
Hey, good evening, Nintendo Dads. It's me, Mecha Dragon 101 again. Hope you guys are having a pretty good week and whatnot. I should be this. My question for you guys today is a simple one. I kind of want to know if there's any mobile games that you guys play regularly, like either on your way home or on your way on the line or something like that. So, like, for example, the two main ones I play on my way back home every night is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is just Yu-Gi-Oh! And some game based on Rebels of Ether called Creatures of Ether. Those two games I play usually on my way back home, and they're pretty fun games. So again, I just want to know if there's any mobile games that you play, like either if you're in line or just walking home or getting home. Hope that makes sense. Looking forward to the podcast tonight, guys. Hope you guys are doing good and everything. I'll see you soon.
I love this question because there's actually 3 apps that aren't like networking apps or work apps that I use every day. One of those is called Puzzle Page. It's on my iPad, and every day there's like 7 or 8 different types of puzzles to do. There's Sudoku, there's crossword, picture path, there's a Picross, and it rotates like a word search. And every now, there's something new every day. And you can subscribe to it for a year, or you can just like watch ads and do the different puzzles. The other one that I use every day is it's called. I'm looking at it right here. It is called. Well, it's not going to come up, of course. Pixel Art. It's just called Pixel Art, and it's it has a little icon with a little gecko on it wrapped around, or like a chameleon wrapped around a pencil. And you can use the Apple Pencil to do pixel art, and it's like by the number. So you do all the number 1, then you do all the number 2, and it's very relaxing. And then the last one that I play almost daily is on my iPhone. I love this. It's called It's Literally Just Mowing. And that's the name of the game. It's literally just mowing, and you mow yards. That's what you do. And it has like the authentic mower sound and everything. And you go through and you can like mow it however you want to and discover creatures and trick out your mower. It's stupid, I know, but it's like the ultimate time waster game. I'm sitting on the toilet and, like I'm playing a game. I don't want to answer any messages. I just want to zone out. It's not the only place that I play it. It's not just sitting on the toilet. But I mean, like, I don't have a commute like Mecha Dragon. Like I don't get on the train to go home. If I played a game going home, I would run my car off the road. So these are the things I do. What about you guys?
Yeah, my commute is go downstairs, but
Don't play games going down the stairs either.
Yeah, I do. I have an app called Color Number, which is similar to what you had, where you basically paint a picture with, all the ones are red, all the twos are yellow, or whatever, And I don't. I have these are games that I've had for a while, but I haven't had a chance to really play much lately. Other games I have in here, there's one called Pixel Logic, which is like another Picross game. A Picross game I recently found called Mad Pixels. Kind of adds like a tournament setting to it. So like 3 times a week they have a tournament where it'll give you everyone the same 36 puzzles, and you get points depending on how fast you solve it, how the least number of X's you use will increase your score for not losing a life. You have 3 lives before it's a game over. So if you have more lives at the end, you get a higher score. So you add the score of all 36 puzzles, and it ranks you against everyone else who's done it. And the first tournament I did, I was the only one who entered, so I won. And that was on a medium difficulty. I did one yesterday on an easy difficulty. That was like 7 other people, and I had the number 1 score by like 200 points. It was like 15.6 thousand versus 15.3 thousand. No, I haven't gone back to see if I won that one or not. And then other games that I've played, I played, and I probably should have never downloaded this, called Solitaire Cube. Basically, you play Solitaire against someone else playing Solitaire with the same deck, and it's like money trades hands. If you put up $1, and if you win, you get $1.75 because the house keeps the quarter. So as long as you win 2 out of every 3, you're breaking even.
As long as.
Yes. There has been runs of 5 wins and runs of 5 losses in a row.
Fair enough. Tim, what about you?
Well, let's see. I've got several things on here that I play, but I'll just stick to like the top ones. Does Game Pass count, by the way? Playing, via the cloud, xCloud? Because I have the Game Pass on here to be able to do xCloud with the controller I have, and that's how I get my Madden fix. Because I can't get it on the Switch. I get it through the Game Pass, especially for the latest one. And the EA Pass, which has been great with the Ultimate xCloud. So there's that. And a little bit of Stadia too. So those cloud-based systems I've been getting in. But when I'm in line or things like Mecha Dragon, suggested, a couple games that I really liked that I sunk a lot of time in, kind of got that Sim City feel, is Mini Metro and Pocket City. So those 2 games are ones that I spent a lot of time in. I haven't played them in a while, but there was a time there.
Mini Metro is the one where you draw the lines and make traffic go.
To make so you're drawing like metro lines or subway lines.
Well, there's a metro one for the subway, and then there's mini motorways.
Oh, okay.
It's an Apple Arcade only.
Gotcha.
And I want to say Apple Arcade does have several really good games on it.
Yeah. And the equivalent of that for Google is they have the Play Pass or whatever they call it too. So I have that, but I don't utilize it as much. So I'm not sure why I'm paying for it, but but it's those are the ones I've been playing. And I think Mini Metro is even on the Switch too, but I've been playing Mini Metro and Pocket City the most, I think, on here for my mobile games.
Gotcha. Awesome. Great question. And I mean, mobile games are games, whether you want to, argue that or not. Maybe they're not the games you like. But again, we talked at our top of the show about just because you don't like it doesn't mean that's not a good game, right? Monster Hunter Rise and Bravely Default and all that. Well, guys, that is episode 311 of Nintendo Dads. We want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight. It's been great to be out and talk to these guys again. Like Tim said, Thursday nights is kind of the highlight of my week. I get to hang out with my friends and talk about video games. And my friends include you that are watching and listening. And I do want to say thank you again to everybody who donated to Gaming for Guru. And also, thank you to new subscribers. If you are a new subscriber on YouTube, this week you helped push us past 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we're 5,000 strong and growing. So we want to get to the 10,000. Come on, I want the button. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, whatever level you get the button at.
Yeah, that'd be 100,000.
Well, let's go.
Only 99,500 to go.
That's right.
That's right.
Or
That's our goal.
95,000.
That's our goal for 2021. Get that 100,000 button.
That's our goal. 100,000.
And then whoever wins the predictions for the year gets to house that button at their house for the year. That's what we're gonna do.
It's gonna be cost a lot to ship to Justin. But you know, when you make easily achievable predictions, I mean, that's, you know, I mean,
those softball predictions.
One of his was like the sky will be blue in 2021, wasn't it?
Water is wet. That's my prediction.
Water is wet. Nintendo will make games. Guys, we also want to remind you, Gaming for Guru merch is available at our TeePublic store, as well as our Redbubble store. You can go check those out over at nintendodads.org. That's our brand new website. And as we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Chris Mears, Dave Ernsberger, Antonio Contronio, and Christopher Waring. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all your support. And you guys, no matter what level you're at over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, we are so thankful for each and every one of you. If you're not a patron of the show, we'd love to have you. For $1 a month, you can make that happen. Also, you can find us in most places online, all the socials, all that good stuff, by typing in Nintendo Dads and just hitting search. We would love to connect with you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, wherever we are. Wherever you are, we're probably there too. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in like Mecca and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And remember, sharing is caring. Tell folks about the show. Share our social media posts. And be sure to go to your audio podcast listening app of choice. Give us a 5-star review. Write some words, kind words, generous words, the best words. Make them the best words. All the bigly. Praise us bigly over there. And it helps people find the show. That's really the most important thing. It's not about the reviews. It just helps people find the show. It pushes us up the charts a little bit. So for me, for Jesse, and for Tim, this has been episode 311 of Nintendo Dads. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.